It's now the mid-90s. At this point, the only thing I did in my life was pretty much just play Game Boy. I mean, as long as the Game Boy was on, I was happy. Whenever it was turned off, I had to face reality, and at the time there wasn't a lot good about that. My parents had just split up, school was terrible, I didn't actually have any friends. There was one kid who kind of pretended he was my friend, but in all honesty, I think no one else wanted to be his friend, so he just got stuck with the leftovers, you know. But while all this bad crap was going on around me, my mum, bless her, could see that I was down. She knew that I wasn't happy. So she asked me, would I like a new game console, so I'm not just playing a Game Boy and she's spending all of her money on batteries. Fuck me, she must have spent a lot of money on batteries. And strangely enough, I wasn't too interested. But I wasn't too interested in anything at the time. Anyway, my mum was a hairdresser and once had to do a job after school, so, as usual, me and my sister got dragged round to random people's houses while she had to cut people's hair. There was this kid that lived at this house and he was much older than me. He must have been like 15 maybe, whereas I was only like 7 or 8. And they all said I should check out this kid's games console. And he was quite nice. He let me have a look at it. He didn't want me to play it, but I kind of get it. Who would want a young 7-year-old to touch their game console? I don't even like my kids touching my game consoles. Anyway, I remember going up to his room and he showed me this grey brick of a thing. It didn't look like anything I had ever seen before. Yes, there would have been tons of adverts on the telly at the time, but I didn't actually watch a lot of telly. It was pretty much Game Boy. But that wasn't the intimidating bit. The intimidating bit was when he showed me the controller. Now bear in mind, up to this point, I was only used to the Master System and Game Boy. So 1 D-pad, 2 action buttons, and of course for the Game Boy Start and Select. But this fucking thing had a D-pad, Start and Select, 4 action buttons, and 4 shoulder buttons. Shoulder buttons! What the hell were they? And instead of 1 or 2 or A and B, we had square, triangle, circle, X, L1, L2, R1, R2. What the fuck? I stared at it as a kid and just thought, I cannot wrap my head around this. And this kid was playing a game that, to this day, I have no idea what it is. It looked like Doom and had weird skeleton things coming towards him. And he was killing them, but I don't know what the game was. To this day, I have no idea. It was the first PlayStation game I ever saw. So I wish I knew what the fuck it was. Anyway, after that, my old dear said, do you want this? Do you want a Sony PlayStation? I said, yeah, sure, okay. Looks interesting. I had no idea what games I wanted because I had only seen that one. And as I've already mentioned, I haven't got a fucking clue what it was called. Well, she got some sort of deal and managed to get it with Crash Bandicoot and Tekken 2. One thing I want to point out quickly is this was during the days when there were no analog sticks on the PS1 controller. So for a long time, I only knew it that way. I didn't know about the analog sticks, and when they came out, I still didn't get one of them controllers for at least a year. But anyway, that's how I got a PlayStation. Now I just want to talk about a few of the games that made a really big impact on me. First of all, Tekken 2. This was the first game I ever played on PlayStation. Yeah, I actually wanted to play that instead of Crash. And that's because this game just looked insane. I fell in love with the damn thing right away, and when you get to the end of the game and there's Devil, holy shit, that was so cool. I know everyone looks back on Tekken 3 and has all these fond memories and they love it to bits, but that's how I look at Tekken 2. It was the bollocks, man, I loved it. Now, I won't lie, it's kind of dated, the fighting doesn't work. They ironed it all out by Tekken 3, so Tekken 2 is a bit floaty, bit crappy in some regards, but I still love it. It is the bollocks. Next game I have fond memories of is Final Fantasy VIII. This was the first true RPG I had ever played. In terms of RPGs, I had played Pokemon before, but you know, that's aimed at kids. Final Fantasy really wasn't. Well, 8 wasn't anyway. It took me ages to figure out how the fuck to play this. But when I did figure it out, I loved it. I spent ages going around the first island, Balam I think it's called, just killing monsters, gaining magic, leveling up. Yes, I could have continued with the story, but I didn't want to. I was going at my own pace and loving it. And to this day, I cannot, for the life of me, figure out why this has not had a remake. Final Fantasy 7 and 9 have had HD remakes and have also come out on the Nintendo Switch. Where the fuck is Final Fantasy 8 in all this? I thought they were going to do the remake and the re-release when it got to its anniversary. You know, that seemed to make sense. For okay, I'll wait a bit longer. The anniversary for Final Fantasy 8 will come up, and there you are. Notifications of game release. Well, we didn't get dick, did we? So I still have no idea why I can't play this game again on a modern console. But anyway, fantastic game, love it to bits. I know a lot of people in America for some reason hate it. I don't know why. I don't want to argue with them and say, well, nah, you're wrong because blah blah blah. I just want to know why they didn't like it. But hey, whatever. Next game appears to be a bit of a hidden gem, because I don't know anyone that talks about it. But it is, to this day, the only sport-ish game that I actually enjoy playing. Now, before I get on to what it is, I just want to quickly tell you another amazing thing about the PlayStation for me. Thanks to this console, I actually got friends. When I went to secondary school, I met new kids, of course. The only thing we had in common was we all had a PlayStation, and had only had it for a little while, so we only had like 2-3 games each. It was a pathetic amount, but we just kept talking about PlayStation. We ended up going around each other's houses. We had a great time. I met a boy there named Dave, who to this day I still talk to on occasion, and he's even watching my videos. I didn't know that for a while, but he does watch them quite often, so I really appreciate that. And in case he watches this one, you're right, mate! I also met Pete, later to be known as Chicken. Don't ask why he's called Chicken, just don't ask, it's too complicated and it's bollocks really. To this day I still see this guy quite often and hang around with him a lot and have a great time, and it was all because of the PlayStation. Anyway, I just wanted to let you know, thanks to this console I got friends, and thanks to this next game I'm going to tell you about, I actually got to play 2-player on something. That game was Pitball. It's like a fantasy / basketball / football / fuck knows. It's brilliant. I always pick the same team though, the New Order, where you get to be these 2 robots, Blade and Saber I think they were called. Me and Dave had a little tactic on how to play. For some reason, although he's very good at sports games these days, he's shit hot at FIFA, but on this game, he couldn't shoot for shit. He was terrible at scoring goals. So we had a technique of him running up, bashing the fuck out of them, whoever got the ball, quickly dodge people, pass it to me, and I made the shot. And for some reason, I was good at scoring goals in this. There is no other sports game in the world where I can do that, but fuck me, I can do it on Pitball. There was also some sort of training feature on the game where you got to be a team's coach. It was alright, but at the end of the day, I just want to play the fucking game. I don't care about the kind of financial crap involved in it. So anyway, this is an incredible game. I mean, it has to be if it's sport and I like it. That should just say it all, really. Anyone that knows me knows I fucking hate sport. Not just sport games, sport. My idea of exercise is getting up to go for a piss. Next up is Abe's Exodus. Now, I loved Abe's Odyssey when it first came out. There was nothing like it. Not a lot of people got into it right away because it was 2D and this was the era where 3D was all that really mattered. But the cinematics gripped you in, the 2D gameplay was fucking fantastic, and I had had a ton of practice with 2D platformers. The fact that you could communicate with other creatures was mind-boggling. It was just crazy. And the ability to possess enemies and make the fuckers blow up, yes, making them blow up was incredible. I loved that shit. That's Abe's Odyssey. Awesome as hell. Definitely the harder of the 2 games, but Exodus was the one I loved the most. They had improved on fucking everything. Not to mention that when it came to finding the secret Mudokons, in Odyssey, there was no clue where they are. You were fucking lucky to find any secret places. Exodus made up for it. It put little bottles, Soulstorm brew bottles around the place where there was a secret layer for Mudokons that were hidden. You may think, oh, that just made the game easier. Trust me, it fucking didn't. In making up for telling you where the secrets were, kind of, it made the secrets a shit of a lot harder to do. So while I was able to complete the game and get enough Mudokons to get the good ending, only up to a couple of years ago, where I finally got all of Mudokons. All of them. Without a walkthrough. And yes, I did hear through a tip that the first lot of hidden Mudokons are the only ones in the game where there's no bottles hidden around them. They're on the first fucking screen, hidden behind a rock or a barrel, I can't remember, but it's on the first screen. Truly amazing game. There's a remake being made for it now. I've seen little clip arts of it, and holy fucking shit, the Mudokons' eyes. Jesus, they look freaky. If this is anything like the New and Tasty, which was the remake of Odyssey, this is going to be the tits. Cannot wait for that. Next game I want to talk about is Spyro. Now, as I said at the start, Crash Bandicoot was one of the first games I got, but it didn't have a huge impact on me. I got pissed off with it a lot. The fact that you could only go forward or left or right, the level determined itself. There was no freedom to it. And in a 3D game, I just felt like I was being done and ripped off. But in Spyro, boom, big fuck off world, colourful as all balls, do what you want. It was just incredible and insane, and I loved it. And when they announced the remake of Crash Bandicoot, I was just that one guy standing in the corner going, fuck it, I wish they'd remake Spyro. And when they gave the announcement that they did, oh my god, I was running to the laptop trying to find out a release date, and when it was released I got it on day one. I made a let's play of it straight away. If you want to check that out, boom, here's a picture for that, there'll be a link below. I love the remake of Spyro. I only got to play Spyro 1 as a kid, so the remake of Spyro 1, full of nostalgia, it's great. 2 and 3, didn't get to play, which is a shame, because I know I would have loved them back then. But it just, the awesomeness is incredible. Next, Resident Evil 3. Now, a lot of people have nostalgia for Resident Evil 1. A lot of people have nostalgia for Resident Evil 2. 3 for me. Yep, I'm the oddball. I don't fucking care. 3 is intense. Nemesis is the biggest badass zombie thing in the fucking world. Yes, I know he was butchered in the movies and made into a soppy sap. But in the game, he was awesome. If you've ever played Alien Isolation, whenever the alien appeared in the room, you're like, fuck, Jesus, shit, fuck, fuck. It was like that with Resident Evil 3. Nemesis appeared, and you're like, shit, Jesus, fuck, shit, shit. Get out your guns, monk all your ammo, brilliant, defeated him, go in the next room. Well, I had ammo. I had health. The game got challenging again. Truly an awesome game. I know everyone's going mad over the Resi 2 remake right now. I may buy it one day, but I know I will buy a remake of Resi 3. And goddamn, I can't wait to see what Nemesis looks like. Whew, that's gonna be fucking freaky. And now I want to talk about Command & Conquer. This was actually the first PC game I ever played, round my mate Dave's place. I love the game. He showed me what to do, he showed me the first few missions, he showed me where he kept getting stuck. I think it was like the 5th mission or some shit. It's the first one after a while where you get no bases. He couldn't do it. I had a go, we couldn't do it. One day I was in town, looking at the game store, oh my god, this thing's on PlayStation? I remember running home and getting money, coming back, and then finding a cheaper one in the fucking pre-owned bin. Thinking, damn it, I looked everywhere around the house for that final pound coin, when here it is for £3 cheaper. And in great condition. I reckon it was one of them occurrences where someone's got the game, didn't like it, dickheads lost the receipt, boom, they pre-owned it. Me and Dave played the hell out of that thing on several weekends, and finally did that bloody level he was stuck on. I can't remember which one of us did it, but it was definitely a team effort, I know that. A remarkable story, brilliant CGI, the fact that the N64 version apparently has no fucking cutscenes. I can't fathom that. I can't imagine this game without the cutscenes. They were what grabbed you and brought you in, and then the gameplay kept you there. But you still needed to be roped in first. Anyway, final game for the night is the one you've probably been watching in the background, Hogs of War. Whenever someone comes round my house and they say they want to play a game, I'm like, okay, pick a game. And they look at the shelves and they go, yeah, they can't fucking pick what to play. So I say, alright, if that's too bloody overwhelming, look at the consoles. What console would you like to play? Many people hover towards the PS2 because that's what they spent so much time playing growing up. Then I say, I have Hogs of War, And they're like, oh, go Hogs of War, yeah, play night, fucking hell. So it's Hogs of War all bloody night. Night well spent. Of all the Worms games we've got, of all the Worms re-releases on phones and fucking everything, why the shit have we not got a new Hogs of War? Why have we not had it remade? Why have we not got a sequel? Now, I understand many people will go, Rick Mayall's dead. It's not Hogs of War without him voicing it. How about this? You can't have Rick Mayall. I suppose due to licensing, contracts and all that horse shit, you can't take his old voice samples. Fine. What if we got Ade Edmondson in there? The only person who could stand next to Rick Mayall and everyone love just as much is Ade Edmondson. Now, I don't think he can do as many different voices as Rick Mayall, but I know if he was in a Hogs of War sequel, I would be shoving fuckers out the way to buy that. I may have to do a Let's Play for this game soon. No one's requested it, but I think that's just because no one's thought of it. That'll probably change when this video gets released. So there we have it. That's just a small handful of the PS1 games I had growing up. I eventually traded in my old PlayStation for the PS1, the smaller compact version. I think I was just roped in by the whole fact that you could stick a screen on it, which I never bloody got because it cost too much. I only had the PS1 for a little while before I moved on to PS2. This was during the days when if you wanted something, you had to trade something in, and back then getting money from pre-owned game stores was a lot better than it is now. But I did play PlayStation for a fucking long time. I still play it today, but this was the first console that had given me friends, that had brought people in so that I could actually socialise. It was probably the first thing I ever had to buy a second controller for. I don't think I had one for the Master System. But anyway, while I was playing this at home, my mum could see that I had cheered right up. Everything was going well. New school, new friends, unbelievable, new game console to keep me happy at home. She no longer had to keep buying me batteries. Except for when she wanted to drag my arse out and I bitched and whinged because I was leaving my PlayStation behind. Time to grab the Game Boy again. But because my parents were split, it was a bit hard on my dad. When I went round his house, there was no PlayStation there, and I couldn't bring it with me every time. He felt down about this because he could see that his son was depressed again, but it seemed to be only down and depressed when I was around his house, because that's when I was reminded of the divorce they were going through, and it was a bad divorce. I witnessed many huge arguments and many other horrible things. Seeing as he realised I had become quite the gamer, he found something that I could enjoy around his place. He bought me something very different.